Francis Ngannou rattled Tyson Fury on a number of occasions during their boxing match, but he thinks he should have added insult to injury by giving Tyson a taste of MMA fighting. Ngannou pushed Tyson to his absolute limit this past weekend in Saudi Arabia, losing by a razor-close split decision, although many fans think he should have won. Ngannou's performance, especially a knockdown in the third round, was impressive enough to earn him a victory on Fight Night, but boxing judges are notorious for a reason. Even the referee missed Fury's elbow strike midway through their fight. Conor McGregor later said that Ngannou should have kicked Fury's legs in response, and the Cameroonian absolutely agrees with him. Quote, "He was right, I should have kicked his legs. I can't believe that he elbowed me." Ngannou later said that Fury's strike was illegal. Despite a controversial loss, Ngannou has attracted the attention of many big names in the boxing world, with Eddie Hearn going as far as saying that his client, Anthony Joshua, would knock him out. Ngannou, however, wants to fight the hardest-hitting heavyweight on the planet, Deontay Wilder, because the boxing phenom is willing to step into Ngannou's world as well as grant him a boxing match.
I said this before you came on, is you versus Deontay Wilder in MMA, because it continues the story of MMA versus boxing. All the boxing guys will follow, but now we have a guy who comes over to MMA from boxing. What do you think of that idea?
I think that's a good idea. In fact, we have spoken about that.
Oh.
In fact, that has been in the discussion.
Okay.
So that's something that can potentially happen. Nothing is said, but it's been something been coming out to my ear, to my attention. So that's something that makes sense.
Wow.
I think, and he's really, because he's really serious about the MMA, it's gonna be a different beast for him.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike this time that I was the one experiencing the mountain, climbing the mountain, he's gonna be the one climbing the mountain, because we all watched the fight last Saturday.
Whether Ngannou faces Wilder in a boxing match or an MMA fight next, he will throw the kitchen sink at him. Against Fury, Ngannou admitted that he was a little gun-shy.
So for some reason, I'm holding it back a little bit, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm gonna feel there. I never been here. How it's gonna be. All those lack of experience is what was playing against me. I'm like, don't extend yourself and then gas out. Don't do this. Don't do that. But I think next time gonna be different, because I have a little bit of a feeling of it. I put my finger in the water and I now know the temperature.
Nevertheless, Ngannou thinks he clearly won the fight, but he knew beforehand that he'd lose if the fight went the distance.
If he's being honest, he will say, I won that fight. I won that fight. There's not a question about it. But, and even before getting here, I know like if this fight get to decision, I'm not winning, not because I didn't do good, because I'm a new guy in the house. I come here and I just want to, kick into people's business. I know there's a structured business out there, and you need to do a lot to destroy it. That's why he would be upset for them. I wasn't expecting to just win like that into decision. But, it is what it is. I do my job. I know that I did everything that I could have done. I did my best. Maybe next time I should just do better to convince people.
Ngannou wasn't the only one who complained about the judges. One of his close friends also thinks officiating as well as judging in boxing needs to be fixed. But before we get into the details of the story, please take a moment to subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you. A few years ago, former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya also had a few boxing matches, and like Ngannou, he too was a victim of poor officiating. Here's what the last stylebender claimed in a recent tweet, quote, "Boxing as a sport is beautiful. Boxing as a business is corrupt as f***. For example, March 2015, in this clip, I get illegally hit and my opponent doesn't get a point deducted. I rock him and put him on the canvas and it's considered a slip. I throw a Superman punch, rocking him again, and get warned because my foot was off the ground and it's quote-unquote illegal. They must not know about David Tua's leaping left hook. Anyhow, I've done my time in boxing as a quote-unquote rookie to the game, and it felt easy for me. I decided to pursue MMA because in my heart as a kickboxer, I knew some nerd in PJs made of sandpaper could beat me without throwing a single strike. Having to learn a whole new set of skills from scratch was very humbling, but it paid off in the long run. It was fun, but I'll never box again. I prefer to use all my weapons in a real fight. Adesanya also trolled his arch-rival Dricus du Plessis for his passionate reactions during South Africa's recent rugby game. Moving on, Daniel Cormier believes Francis Ngannou is the baddest man on the planet. Like everyone else in the MMA community, Cormier also believes Ngannou deserved to beat Fury because he landed the bigger shots and had more success in the exchanges. Despite the controversial loss, Cormier thinks the Cameroonian has solidified his place as the baddest dude on the planet.
One of the most courageous and greatest performances I have seen by an athlete outside of their realm of expertise. Guys, make no mistake about it. And I will tell you this, and I believe this with 100% of myself. Everything I hold to be true in my life. Francis Ngannou is the baddest man on the planet. 100%, 1000%. And we always call the heavyweight champ the baddest man on the planet, and it's usually the MMA guy that is the baddest man on the planet. That's why when Tyson Fury started to call John Jones out and everything, I was saying how he could not beat John Jones in an actual fight. Francis Ngannou proved tonight that he is the baddest man on the planet.
Cormier further praised Ngannou by saying that his performance against Fury was one of the most impressive performances he has ever seen. And if Fury were to compete in MMA, he would fail to go the distance with the Predator.
The way that Francis fought Tyson in boxing, there's no way a fight between any boxer and the UFC heavyweight champion in mixed martial arts goes to that type of decision. It was the most impressive performance I've ever seen for a guy outside of their realm of expertise. Because they can't do it.
Do you agree with Daniel Cormier? Moving on, the upcoming UFC 295 pay-per-view event, originally slated to feature John Jones versus Stipe Miocic in the heavyweight title bout, has undergone a major change. With John Jones' withdrawal, the light heavyweight co-headliner between Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira has been elevated to the main event. Prochazka, a former light heavyweight champion, is looking to regain the title he lost due to injury nearly a year ago. After recovering from a dislocated shoulder, he aims to resume his career against the formidable Brazilian veteran Alex Pereira, who can crack any chin in the game. To make matters worse, Prochazka usually exposes his chin during fights, which is a big no against a striker as precise and deadly as Pereira, according to Henry Cejudo.
The technique, as good as you are with everything, there's one area where I feel like you really need to get better at. There's two areas. Your defense with your hands. I don't like seeing you get hit because that may cost you against a guy like Alex Pereira. And then the other thing too is your takedown defense. You know, your takedown defense is still a little suspect. So if there's an area where I feel like he really needs to get better, it's right here. And particularly his defense.
Do you agree with Henry Cejudo? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.